Hi, I'm Elsbeth from Custom Strength, and this is part 2 of our Ultimate Warm-Up series, or on-field warm-up. This part is really geared towards the more competitive athlete. Maybe you're a coach or you play on a high-end team, you go to tournaments, you travel, probably have practices. So what we recommend you do with this is do the first portion of the warm-up, and there's a link below, and then you're going to come in to do this. It'll be 5 or 10 minutes, really focus on movement quality. So think about sprint mechanics, think about change of direction, deceleration, acceleration, and really it's gonna get your kids or your athletes ready for the practice as well as work on their skills throughout the season. So the first thing we're gonna do is the setup. So we have basically initially two cones set up 5 yards away and then one 10 yards away. And the first series of movements we're gonna do between those 3 cones. And then we're gonna move to, we have more cones set up for diagonal patterns that we'll do after that. The first exercise we're going to do is called a bear crawl. So you're going to be on all fours, hands under your shoulders, knees under hips, and then you'll lift the knees up slightly, and you're going to move opposite arm and leg. Now one thing you'll find, and we'll show you it in the demonstration in a minute, but one thing you find with a lot of people, particularly the kids, is that they're going to do same side arm and leg. So it's going to look like this, which is not what we want. Eventually they'll get the hang of it, but one of the things that you might want to do to set them up properly is have them set up with the same side hand and knee close together. And by doing this, it makes it a lot easier to get the opposite arm leg pattern going. The next exercise we're going to do is a marching drill. This is really a sprint form drill. What you want to think about is pulling your knee up, toes up with the opposite arm, and then press into the ground. So I'll show you. So it'll look like this. This next exercise is the same concept, but we're going to add a skip. So marching, knee drive, arms up, drive your foot in the ground, but now we add a skip. Next thing we're going to do is a power skip to sprint. So don't need a lot of coaching for this one. All you're going to say is you're going to skip as high and as far as you can to the middle cone, and then you're going to sprint from there as fast as you can. A little bit like this. Next one we're going to do is shuffling. So you're going to set yourself up with the team next to the cones, nice and low, and you're just going to shuffle sideways to the first cone and back, there and back 3 times. The cue for them is just stay low and move quickly. That's it. It's going to look like this. The next thing we're going to do is a straight sprint drill. So you're going to line up the team. You can let them decide which foot they start on. They're going to sprint the full 10 yards, change directions, and come back. The key on this one is that when they get to the second cone, you're going to cue everyone to face away from you when they change direction. The second time through, you're going to cue them to face you when they change directions. And the third time, you're going to get them to choose whichever one was more difficult for them. And that's going to be different for each of them. The goal here being if someone has a weak side in terms of changing direction, let's just start gradually working on that. So something like this. This next drill is a deceleration drill. So you're going to take half your team, line them up before one set of the 4 cones, half your team, line them up before the other cones. And then what you're going to do with this one, we're going to do run to 1 cone, stop, count to 2, and then run to the next cone, stop, etc. The key with this one is the first time everyone goes through, you're going to accelerate each time with your left leg. Then once they've gone through everything, they're going to walk up to the back of the line. When they go through again, right leg will accelerate. So it's going to look something like this. For the next 2 drills, we're going to use all 8 of the cones set up in a diagonal slalom pattern. Again, about 5 yards between each. So get the whole team lined up. This will go through fairly quickly. Basically what we can do initially, the first one through is just going to be a sprint. So you're going to sprint through all the cones. The cue on this one is as you're changing directions, get low and try and use as few steps as possible. It'll look something like this. The last drill we're going to do is a reverse shuffle through the slalom cones. Key on this one, stay low and just make sure you go all the way to the cones and a few steps as possible. So it's going to look like this. And now your athletes are all warmed up and ready to play.